reporting from Arkham Asylum. This is Gotham Rogues. In this video we take a look at forgotten Batman villains, the Terrible Trio. Throughout his near 80-year-old existence, Batman have faced countless enemies. Some of these have gone on to stand among the most infamous fictional villains in pop culture history, while others have completely vanished into obscurity. In this segment of Forgotten Bat Rogues, we spotlight the Terrible Trio. The trio made their first appearance in Detective Comics 253, published in 1958. The story, titled The Fox, the Shark, and the Vulture, was written by Dave Wood and penciled by Sheldon Moldoff. In it, Batman and Robin face a new group of supervillains, calling themselves the Terrible Trio. To hide their identities, the three members wear animal masks and are known as the Fox, the Shark, and the Vulture. To fit their animal theme, they switch between performing heists on land, in the air, and in the sea. The trio appeared again in Detective Comics 321, published in 1963. This story was simply titled The Terrible Trio, and was again done by Dave Wood and Sheldon Moldoff. This time around, the three crooks have changed their racket from heists to smuggling, and to again fit their animal themes, they alternate between smuggling via land, sea, and air. Despite being caught, the trio was never unmasked and identified in either of these two stories. It would be a very long time before they appeared again in the comics, not until 1999. It wasn't in a Batman comic though, but for some reason in a 3-issue Dr. Midnight miniseries by Matt Wagner and John K. Snyder III. In the comic, the trio are given the identities of Fisk, Shackley, and Vulture, and are completely reimagined as the corrupt corporate heads of Prada Industries. They wear their animal masks when performing bizarre rituals, calling upon the spirits of earth, air, and water. The trio finally appeared in a Batman story again in Detective Comics 832, published in 2007. The story, titled Triage, was written by Royal McGraw and penciled by Andy Clark. This comic seems to feature the versions from the Dr. Midnight miniseries, as they share their identities. They do, however, more resemble the old classic trio of the Silver Age. In the story, the trio members are stalked by a mysterious killer known only as the Fourth Man, who seems to have some sort of past with the crooks. It's now up to Batman to foil the Fourth Man's scheme and save his old foes. As of the making of this video, the trio's last big appearance was in the one-shot special, DC Retroactive Batman the 1970s, which was released in 2011. The story featured was titled Terror Times 3 and was written by Bronze Age Batman writer Len Wein and penciled by Tom Mandrake. This one-shot is an homage to not necessarily 70s Batman comics, but that period in the late 70s and early 80s when Len Wein wrote Batman. Anyway, the story features a brand new version of the trio, consisting of 3 misguided young men, including the son of Lucius Fox, Timothy. These 3 punks have modeled themselves after the old original trio and wears updated versions of their masks, including matching costumes. Despite making very few appearances in the comics, the Terrible Trio have been adapted by, fittingly, 3 animated cartoon shows. First was in Batman the Animated Series. On that show they got their own entire episode, simply titled The Terrible Trio. It was actually in this episode that they were given real identities and proper motivations for the first time, several years before the Dr. Midnight miniseries. In the episode, the trio are Warren Lawford, Armand Lydecker, and Gunther Hardwick. 3 rich, spoiled frat boys. Bored and with too much time on their hands, they become the Terrible Trio, pulling off heists for kicks. Their crimes weren't centered around earth, sea, and air. Instead, the animal motifs tied into their backgrounds, as the Fox's father was an oil tycoon, the Sharks a shipping magnate, and the Vultures the head of an aerodynamics firm. Next, the trio got their own episode in the Batman cartoon show. In the episode titled Attack of the Terrible Trio, the group is completely reimagined as bullied outcasts at Barbara Gordon aka Batgirl's university. Named David, Justin, and Amber, they actually transform into hybrids of a fox, a shark, and a vulture by using a formula by Kirk Langstrom aka Man-Bat. Of course, like so many other obscure rogues, the trio also appeared in the Batman the Brave and the Bold cartoon show. In their episode Return of the Fearsome Fangs, the trio is portrayed as bored millionaires who studied martial arts at the Wudang Temple alongside Bruce Wayne and Ben Turner, aka the Bronze Tiger. Many years later, they've turned bad and acquired the Wudang Totem, a mystic artifact that transforms this version of the trio into actual animal hybrids as well. What's to say about the terrible trio? I kind of like them. They're fairly unique villains, and I really like the image of a group of guys in business suits wearing bizarre animal masks. It's such a weird contrast. However, I don't think any of their stories in the comics are really all that good. The two Silver Age tales are fun, silly romps, but nothing more. My terrible trio will always be the TAS version. That is, after all, how I was introduced to the characters. I also feel that their backstory and motivations are the most interesting there. So there you have it. That's the story of forgotten Batman villains, the Fox, the Shark, and the Vulture, better known as the Terrible Trio. Remember, Arkham Asylum awaits you in the next video.